Hey everyone, Jay Soloff here at Investors Alley with our options trade of the week. So we're looking in Market Chameleon at our unusual options volume, and it's always interesting this time of year to see what's out there because we have earnings coming up. You can see all these, here's the earnings column, and all these yellowish highlighted earnings are ones that are coming up. So you can see what kind of trades people are making to position themselves, a lot of calls, a lot of puts. So typically they're more bullish. A lot of people putting call trades on things they think that might go up. There might be some positive earnings, so you can see some stuff coming up next week. We have a semiconductor company on Tuesday and a gold company on jewelry gold company on Wednesday, and just a few different stuff. So last week, if you remember, if you saw the trade of the week, we talked about Zynga, and there was an interesting long-term covered call trade in there. Well, there's more action this week, and earnings are next week. So just out of curiosity, since we talked about it last week, I took a look to see what was going on there. And first off, as a reminder, we just looking at the stock chart, and we looked at this a week ago, and you can see that as this loads up, you can see it's been in an uptrend. It says it right here. It's been in an uptrend, and if you were to look at what's going on, so here's a 3-year chart. You can see this year it's gone way up. I mean, it's a cheap stock, but it's gone up 62% this year. So if you had a lot of shares, obviously you did very well. And there's been some options action, so perhaps earnings next week are suggesting that there's going to be even more action. So looking at the trades from Friday, and we can sort by quantity to see what kind of the big trades might have been. Here we have a 5,000 lot. This looks like another covered call in September. What is interesting to me, though, is some of the short-term stuff that's opening trades. Like there's a lot of volume and not a whole lot of open interest. So these are opening trades, and if it's a short-term trade for August 16th, this is pretty clearly an earnings play. So earnings are next week. It gives it a week or two before expiration for the earnings results to get out there and for buyers to come in. So someone was purchasing, you can tell because they're buying, they're paying the ask price, which means they're buying. And these are a bunch of orders that were done all at the same time. So 9:37, August 16th, the 6 calls with the stock at 644. So this is an in the money call. It's basically going to move very similar to the stock price. And if you actually look, there's a few of these that happen at 9:37. If you add them all up, it looks like about 9,000 contracts traded for 59 cents. So, that's a fair amount of money to spend on a very short-term trade. That is, and again, this is 73 delta. So it means it's going to move about 73% as much as if you own the stock. So it's going to move quite a bit as it goes up. And so you can see there's a fair amount of money spent. 250,000, add these two together, another 250,000, so that's 500,000 plus however many more to we're talking about well over half a million dollars spent on a very bullish trade. The break even for this is going to be 659. Now it's only 15 cents away, but keep in mind these these options expire August 16th, so there's not a lot of time for this to happen. So this is a very bullish trade above 659. There is, it's all profit from there. So every dollar that the stock goes up, so let's say it goes up to $7.59, that's a dollar higher than break even. Then we're talking about $900,000 in profit. So, good upside potential, but also all this money is technically at risk. If the stock were to fall below 6, they could lose, the $600,000 spent on the trade. Of course, it's a little bit safer since the stock is at 644 when this was made, so it's not that far from being in the money. So interesting play. Looks like a very bullish play on Zynga next week. Not a lot of money to spend for an in-the-money option, and it'll be interesting to see how the stock reacts after earnings, which are July 31st. if you're interested in more about this, how option strategies work, different ways you can use options, and this sort of information, you can check out on this page, check out the link for my option trading mastery course. It's about 11 courses divided up, roughly 6-7 hours, with more being added in the future. So some very interesting material there if you want to learn about options and different types of option strategies.